We are good to go.
All right. Hello and good evening, everyone. And a very warm welcome to all those who have joined us on the Facebook Live. I, Smriti Agarwal, the moderator for this webinar, on behalf of the Early Child Development Forum, welcome you all to this wonderful webinar where we're going to be talking about the year that just went by, 2024. It went by in a jiffy for me. Let's see what our stellar lineup of speakers have to say about this year. And I'm very proud that today we have amongst us Ms. Shavishta Bakhtiar. She's the CEO Learning Lab and an NLP master coach and a hypnosis coach. She's based out of Karachi in Pakistan. Next, we have with us Ms. Amrit Nagpal. She's an education consultant for early and primary years for curriculum and a teacher training, a teacher training mentor and a parent coach, author, and a storyteller. And she's an excellent storyteller. I've heard her narrating stories. Then we have with us Dr. Catherine Murray. She's from Australia, and she's the founder of Future Strong Education in Australia and an early childhood consultant. She's the creator of the Brain Set Environment formula, working globally with educators to align the needs of the brain to the design of the classroom environment. And she has created some wonderful environments across the world. And last but not the least, we have Dr. Vasfi Acharya with us, the founder of Early Childhood Development Forum, the chairperson for DNA Foundation, the chairperson for the Tender Petals preschools, chain of preschools, and a leading visionary in the field of early childhood education. Welcome to all the speakers present here today. So it's my honor to be moderating the webinar and the session today. And we are going to be talking about, like I said, the year that just went by. So I would be talking the last about what happened with me in this year. Currently, we first and foremost start with Dr. Vashvi Acharya. So, Doc, over to you. The first and foremost question. So tell us about one major achievement of the year of 2024 that you would like to share with all of us.
Well, thank you. And yes, we are at the end of the year, and it is time to actually retrospect what we did this entire year. And 2024 has indeed been a very rewarding year for me, and but also packed with a lot of challenges. So if you talk about the incredible thing that happened in 2024, I would say that I would like to talk about the ECDF Indonesia trip, our edu tour and conference in Indonesia, which was really amazing. I feel because it happened at in a very short span of time, and we were actually writing to some other countries, and then we had this Dr. Abdul, I would say an angel, who suddenly appeared and said that, oh, I can, arrange this for you in Indonesia. So Indonesia is a place I have not visited earlier, and let alone the schools, but we saw some awesome practices there, and I feel that the learning was immense. And also we tried to, kind of get those practices back home. And ECDF also signed a lot of MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, with the schools there. We visited, I think, four big schools, and we had the conference and awards. So I feel that, yeah, within a very short span, like it was like 2 months of work, and we were there. And the group, the team that went, the delegation who went to Indonesia was fantastic. We had a lot of learning, but we also had a lot of fun. And I feel that, yes, these memories of 2024 of the Indonesia trip is now primary, like when you just talk about it, ask me, that is something that comes to me as one of the fondest memories of the year. Thank you.
So awesome. Yeah, I do remember, and I have seen the post. And unfortunately, I was not a part of the delegate that went to Indonesia, and Dr. Vasvi is not very happy with me on that. But it was indeed a fantastic trip organized by the ECD Forum. And I must compel each and every educator that the next time they're planning a trip and the conference and the awards anywhere, do be a part of it. Thank you so much, Dr. Vasvi. Now we go over to Dr. Catherine Murray. So, Dr. Catherine, what was your biggest achievement for the year of 2024?
Well, thank you for asking. And I think to follow on with what Dr. Vasavi was just saying about going to other countries and working with people in other countries, that's what I have been doing over this year. And I've been to lots of different places. I've been to England, I've been to Athens, I've been to Croatia, and that was sort of with my family as well. But one of the biggest events, I guess, I'd like to talk about is a trip to Bolivia in South America. And I was invited by an international school to go there and train the teachers in my brain set environments formula. So that was a really exciting thing. I've never been to South America before, so I had to deal with the altitude sickness and different foods and not being able to speak Spanish. And so that was just a whole journey in itself. But the teachers in the school were very receptive to and very open, and I have to give them credit to that. They were very open-minded to think of education in a different way and have the faith that if they step away from traditional ways of teaching, that the children are really going to benefit. So I was working with teachers that teach 3-year-olds all the way up to high school. And I was transforming their classrooms as we went. And I was only meant to be working with the 3 kindergarten levels, the 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and the grade 1 classes. But it ended up that I was working with the grade 5s and the grade 3s and the high school phys ed department and the art department in the high school, and some other teachers as well in the high school, all asking about how we can change the environment so that it supports the developing brain, because, you know, that's what we all have in common, right? We all have a brain and we all need the same thing, because as I say to the teachers, the environment speaks to us and influences how we think, how we feel, and what we do. And that's particularly important for children if we want to support their learning. And as you know, ladies that are here with me, my mantra is a calm brain is a thinking brain, and we say that everywhere, all over the place, and really that's what we aim to do in the classrooms. So I think that was probably one of the achievements of this year that really sticks in my mind, just because it was very different and it was very well received by an amazing group of enthusiastic, open-minded teachers. So that just warmed my heart.
Super fantastic. That's so great. I think we as educators really, really need to reach out. We need to reach out to different educators, teachers in different parts of the world, share practices, and that is how we learn and then we teach. It's like it's a two-way communication that, you know, you get to learn a lot from these different places, different schools and teachers, and then we tell them what we also know. And Dr. Catherine's line is the most fantastic line, that a calm brain is a thinking brain. So how calm are we keeping our children in the classroom? How much of a learning is happening? All depends upon what kind of an environment are we giving them. So the brain set formula environment is absolutely necessary for all schools to explore and understand if you really want learning to be happening in your classrooms. So when we know about Reggio Emilia, and when we know that the environment is the third teacher and a very important part of learning, Dr. Catherine Murray has taken it a step forward, and her formula is really being accoladed around the world. So thank you, Dr. Catherine, for sharing that.
Thank you, Smriti.
All right, over to you, Ms. Amrit. Ms. Amrit, what was your achievement for 2024? What is that one thing that comes to your mind when we talk about this year?
So when we talk about 2024, I mean, it did start with a challenge, but for me,
one of my most happiest moments came in 2024 is that I released my first book as a storyteller. And it was along with a couple of other storytellers. So, but it was my first book, so it's been very precious and close to my heart. And I know, like, I've been practicing storytelling with young children for a very long time now, and we live in a country where we tell stories every day. I mean, we've got stories from our television ads to magazines to our folk tales. And because I've been into this crafting stories, so I did have a lot of opportunities this year to present stories in different literature festivals across India. And two, three most beautiful moments that I could share of is that I, being not very native to a particular language, because we've got many languages in India, I did have that opportunity to practice my craft, refine it, and then present stories in different languages that I may not be very fluent in. But that is the beauty about storytelling. You know, once you fine tune your craft, you can take it to an audience. So I'll just give you an example. You know, this year I got an opportunity in the beginning of the year to present stories in Bhojpuri, which is again not a language that's very native to me, but it is so amazing to see that when you address it to a crowd of children who may not know the language but still understand stories and can still summarize the entire story and give you a gist, just makes us feel that language is not the barrier. Eventually, we just make things barriers for us. And if you present something in a more creative, in a more imaginative way where you involving children to doing things within the story, there is so much that they learn from, because you are the biggest storybook that they have. So I did get plenty of opportunities to travel across to do storytelling, so which was really amazing. I also got plenty of opportunities to work on my forthcoming books. So I have been working on two forthcoming books on stories and storytelling. This is more about stories. I've already worked on a book on how the craft of storytelling should be done. So I'm just I'm glad, because that is what I'm looking forward for, coming up with more books as an author, uh, as a storyteller. And another thing where I could really practice my craft is taking craft to parents. Helping parents who coming from the early years background, helping them to nurture the craft and the power of storytelling. Because eventually, when parents are with children at home, they need to understand the basics of the craft, so that when they practice at home with their children get more fond of reading books. We're living in a highly technological world. Children are moving away from stories. So my main aim is to get children back to stories, because there are stories everywhere. We have so many traditional folk tales, so many folk songs, and I think that's a big part of our culture here. And it just needs to reach out back to a generation where they can preserve it, and then they can take it forward to the forthcoming generations. So that's the whole idea. And that is what inspires me about stories and storytelling.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Amrit, for sharing that. And fantabulous. Congratulations that your first book came in, and there are lots more in the pipeline. And you, as a storyteller, may be going to places. So, stories are like music. When you're listening to music, the language doesn't matter, you enjoy it. And same way with stories also, language doesn't matter, language should not be a barrier. And with the national education policy of 2020, India has awakened to the fact that when we have so many languages and so many cultures, why should we deprive our school and the school environment of that? And we should have multilingual classrooms, and we should have be talking to children in a language that they understand. So hats off to you for doing that and traveling across the country, taking your stories everywhere. So the Stories Ka Pitara, which ECDF is also coming up with in January, is the major event where we would like to invite all our educators and storytellers to participate and tell more and more stories. So from what we call as Nani Dadi ki kahaniya to now Amrit Nagpal ki kahaniya, please go ahead. And then the future generation, like she said, has to take it forward and give it to the next generations coming in. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ms. Shabishta. You have to share your memorable moments of 2024.
Everyone, and thank you for inviting me here. So, work-wise, I would say that we work really on inculcating inclusive classrooms in over here, specifically in Karachi, because there's a huge gap. So we are working towards it. We have signed some MOUs. We have conducted a lot of workshops that deal with this because we believe that every child has a right to be in the classroom. So that is what we are working on. That is what our passion is. Personally, I would say year 24 was all about learning for me. I studied a lot. I did my master's NLP. I did my hypnosis coaching. I did, oh God, it was too much. And I'm still going on. So it has been a good year, Alhamdulillah. And it started off really well for me as well because as being in this part of the world, we are very and being a Muslim, it was very we feel very passionate and towards religion also, and we look forward for visits that are methodological and that are close to our hearts and religious basis. So I started off with that, and then it has been going good. And in 2025, I'm seeing myself and Learning Lab to a place where we could go in every school in Karachi and in our state, Sindh, and then we could make, inshallah, every classroom an inclusive classroom. That's our aim. Let's see where it goes, but that's what we are looking forward to.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Ms. Shabishta. Of course, all classrooms have to be inclusive classrooms, and every child, like she said, has a right to education and to be in the classroom. And they're working towards that. So hats off to you for that. Really, really a very pertinent thing that you are doing in life. And learning, of course. My favorite quote has always been in my life has been that one who dares to teach must never cease to learn. So if we are going to be teachers and we are going to be educators, our learning should never, ever stop. So it's been like a lot of learning also along with that. Right on, my turn. Yeah, I'm the moderator, but it's my turn to say what happened in 2024. So 2024 for me has been a great, great year. I have been, like everyone else, I've been traveling a lot. I've been doing a lot of teacher training workshops and sessions because teachers are the core. So we might feel that the schools and the buildings and and the owners and whatever pedagogies and curriculum we are making, but the ones who are delivering it are the teachers. So I've been doing a lot of core trainings with the teachers across India. And the biggest moment has come to me today is only just right today when just before I came to the webinar was the fact that I had authored a book of stories. Amrit, pay attention. I had authored a book of stories for children for the age group of like right from preschool onwards. You can narrate it to them. But for reading purposes, 6 years to 10 years and 11 years. And that book launched today.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. So now today it is live on Amazon and Flipkart. So that was the biggest moment for me is today itself. And the biggest moment for me is to be here with you people, sharing it here with you. So that was 2024 for me. All right.
Congratulations. Congratulations
so
to Mehdi
much.
and to Emirates too for your book too. Congratulations. It's a big
Yes.
job.
And I'm going to accept all the congratulations when all of you buy those books and give me a feedback on what do you think about the stories that I've written.
Sure.
Right. And Amrit is going to narrate some of those stories. I'm very sure of that. Okay. So it would be a two-way thing that I'm writing and Amrit is narrating. And when whatever Amrit is writing, we'll take it to other teachers and schools. Right. That's the collaboration. And that's the way we early childhood educators work completely on collaborations. Going forward, the next question. Now, we talked about the achievement and our the gratitude and the biggest moments of 2024. Let's also hear what would be one regret or one learning from any kind of a situation that we were in this 2024. So over to Dr. Catherine Murray. Dr. Kathy, what was the biggest learning or a regret or a situation where you needed to really, reinvent yourself?
Well, I think this year, particularly toward the end of the year, I was given the opportunity to speak at some very influential conferences across the world. And I chose to withdraw from those conferences because I had some family commitments, and I literally weighed up, what's more important here, my family and this hand, or these opportunities, these career opportunities, and literally weighed them up. Well, of course, when you put it like that, there is no choice. There is no decision really to be made, because of course it was my family and things that I needed to do for my own self-care and my own well-being. So it would have meant a lot of travel that I would have had to do, and quite expensive travel to go to these conferences, but they were very high-powered conferences, and I really wanted to go. But I didn't go because I felt that my family and my own well-being was more important than any decision for any sort of career thing that would happen. And if it's meant to be, I'll get other opportunities and it'll all come back around to me anyway. But just for now, it was my family that was most important. So I guess the question is about regrets and learnings. At the time, it was I was sort of like, oh, I'm so disappointed. But now it's not a regret at all. It's like, yeah, I did the right thing. My family benefited, and so did I. My own well-being and my own, I lessened my stress level by just withdrawing from those conferences. So that's the learning, I guess.
Oh, that's superb. In fact, that should be a learning for all of us because we always keep our professions and our careers and all our other commitments before us, before our own selves and before our families, not realizing that probably we need ourselves and our family need us much more than our professional commitments. So I think, Dr. Kathy, you made the fabulous choice and the correct choice. And yeah, of course, you should have no regrets on that. And conferences and all these opportunities will keep coming to you. You are such a fabulous educator. They can't go anywhere. They can't escape. They will come to you. But but this time when your family needed you and you needed to spend time with yourself, your me time, and you chose that is a very great thing. So wonderful. Over to you, Dr. Vashvi Acharya.
Oh yeah. If I come to my kind of learning, I would not call it a regret, but yeah, I had massive learning opportunities in 2024 because the year started really, really with a hustle bustle. We had the conference with Salvan in Delhi, so that was something ECDF had to, and our team is not really a big team, but we had to put in a lot of efforts for that. So after Delhi, right after Delhi, we had the Indonesia trip, and after that I traveled to Delhi for the Air Force School training, teacher training. So, I took work back to back without even realizing how taxing it would be because traveling back and forth. The teacher training was like, I landed in the Air Force headquarters in Gurugram. Then at late night, next morning, my training started at 5, finished at 6, caught another flight, got back home, and then back to my, family. So, by July, I felt a lot of exhaustion, a lot of draining out, and probably, yeah, I would call it burnout. And then I realized that my biggest learning was I was taking things as it was coming too much, too chew than I could. And and after July, I just sat back for some time and started to retrospect that where I had gone wrong, that I kind of completely burnt out. And by August, I started gaining back my energy and understood that I need to do things in smaller capsules. And yeah, we had one amazing parenting summit where Amrit was also a part in September. Then after September, again, I took a break. And yeah, and in between, I felt, like I lost all my goals and stuff. So this was a very trying time from July to maybe August, June end to August. And now I'm back on track. But next time, I will not take things back to back.
Yep. Amazing learning, Dr. Vasvi, and knowing her, she is like the go-getter, the the tigress in her will not say no to things, and she would just take it on, and she'll say, "Acha, we will prove it, we will do it, and why can't it be done?" She has that motto in life, that is, nothing is impossible, and why can't we do it? So that way she goes overboard. And good thing is that she realized that she has to do things in smaller capsule. Take care, Dr. Vasavi. It's very important. Right, over to you, Ms. Shabashta. Your learning for the year.
So as we say, there are no regrets, it's only feedback. So yeah, so I'm so happy that everyone over here is thinking the same way. No regrets, alhamdulillah, no, not at all. Because yes, learning a lot of learnings. I think every day is brings out a separate or a different or a new learning for everyone, if you are able to recognize that only. So for me, it was that the learnings I said that the gap I'm seeing in the education system over here and the training of the educators, that is the biggest gap, and that is my learning that needs to be filled at ASAP, because the world is moving so fast, and in our part of the world, we are way behind on a lot of things. It is very difficult to do things over here. It is even very difficult to make people understand that what we are talking about. We are still not aware of what is. There is no such thing as disability. Every child, a child is different. It doesn't mean if a child is not able to achieve something, it doesn't mean that he or she is not able, will not be able to do it in their entire life. So these situations that we face on daily basis, and the parents specifically, there is a lot of work that needs to be done on the mental well-being of not only children, but the educators also, and the parents also, because dealing with children who have some kind of syndromes or spectrums, or you can say any kind of delayed milestones, it becomes very difficult for them to function on daily basis. So yeah, this gap I'm seeing, and this is my biggest learning, that and I'm trying, and we are trying to actually fulfill that. How can we work around these? How can we design such programs, such training programs for teachers, for educators, for the admin staff, for the school owners, for the parents, so that they know that it is okay. It is okay to have a different child. It is a blessing, and how you can work on yourself. Vasavi just talked about well-being. Catherine just talked about well-being. It's a need of all. Even if you are just living a life, what can I say? There's no such term as a regular life, but even if you're living a routine life, you get exhausted, you get tired, you need a break, you need to work on yourself constantly, so that you are next day fresh and feeling motivated and there to perform duties. And as educators, the duty is really, really important. We are developing a nation. We are developing children who are going to fulfill the dreams of this nation. So yes, we have to work towards that. And that was my biggest learning. Again, on a personal level, I felt that there was a lot of areas in my personal well-being that were being neglected by me, as usual. And I think it's all over the world. We women, we neglect ourselves. We just neglect. We just don't take care of ourselves. We just don't take our health seriously. We just don't take the needs of our body seriously. And now moving towards the age where new things start to appear. So that was also a very big eye-opening, I could say, a situation for me, that when I had to realize that yes, I have to like think of on certain things in a different level. I have to rewire my brain. I have to rewire my thinking patterns. I have to rewire my language patterns, so that I can achieve what I want to achieve in life. So yeah, that was my feedback. No regrets, no regrets, not at all. It's like with a decision you make, then you have to make it right.
Awesome. So what is a regret? So any kind of a situations that we are facing, or some kind of a realization that we are getting in life, are all feedbacks. Like Misha Vishta just said, they're all feedbacks. We have to take it in our stride as feedbacks, and then decide on now where do we want to go from here. And the path that she has chosen and the path that she's walking on about inclusivity is something that's really, really wonderful and it's very much needed. And acceptance by the parents is something that's the first step. So any parents who are watching the webinar, please do not compare your children. What you have is the most precious child in your own life, and the way you would be looking at the child and what you believe for the child is going to be coming true. So as educators, we of course definitely do try our best, but it has to be a community that believes in all children, right? Thank you so much, Avishta. Over to you, Amrit.
Yeah, like, everybody has been mentioning no regrets. It's always a learning. It's always reflection on what needs to be done when you move forward, or how can you make it better than before. So, professionally, I feel that because we have that opportunity to meet with teachers, parents, and children, of course, we should also tell them the same thing. I meet a lot of parents, sometimes they have a lot of regrets of, how they could have done something better. But we do not have that uh, option to rewrite our past. What we can do is write our present and our future in a better way. So, as at a professional level, I feel it's very important for mentors like us when we move out to our professional space, whether we're working with teachers or the school community or the parent community. We need to tell them the same thing, that, at the end, we all are humans. We may make errors. It's absolutely okay, because what we try to do is we feel that we have this some superpower. We can manage home, we can manage work, we can manage children, we can manage all of it. But sometimes the plate gets too full and it becomes very difficult to manage. And somebody is left to be unhappy at the end. Somebody will always be unhappy. So, how do you manage this thing? So, personally, also, because there are no regrets, it's always a learning and you always reflect. I feel professionally, it is also our responsibility that sometimes we may have that opportunity, but we may not touch upon it. That, I feel we should empower other teachers, other parents, the school community, so that when they go back home, they have a more positive mindset when they're working with their children. It's more about being in the space of growth mindset. How do you see growth and nurture growth everywhere? And I think Dr. Kathy also talks a lot about it in her sessions, in her podcasts, and we all talk about it at some point. But I think being able to grow and come out of that situation is something that we've got to empower everybody. Personally, also the same thing. A lot of gentle reminders to be given to self that you are important too. Work is definitely important. Work will come and go. But you need to take care of yourself, your mind, your body, your mindset, because mindset is something that will not come in a jiffy. It takes a lot of while to, grow it, to do things, to nurture that mindset takes a lot of time. And because when we live in families, especially in the part of Asia where we live, we all live in extended families and larger families. And believe me, everybody has a very different mindset at home. So it's very challenging at times, even if you want to, stick to a growth mindset or a positive mindset, there will be somebody who's coming and changing your mindset and making it go haywire. So it takes a lot of strength, mental strength. For that, you've got to practice a lot of mindfulness, do a lot of yoga, focus, meditate. And I think we forget that at times. I mean, when I mean we, I mean all of us. So it's just a gentle reminder that you asked us this question. I think in 2025, I'm going to do that more. I'm going to focus on myself more than what I did this year. So that you are leaving us with, at least me, with a small goal, that what I would want to see myself a bit more changed for the next year would be this, personally and professionally both.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amrit, for sharing that. Yeah, that was a personal space Amrit was coming from. So we all face it, but seldom recognize it or accept it and then move forward. So the first and foremost thing is that we have to accept the fact that, yeah, fine, maybe I'm not exactly in a very, very good space or a very happy space and can't be happy all the time. It's like not feasible for any human being to do that. So first you accept that. Second thing, you have to accept that you can't please everybody. That it's just impossible that everyone around you would be happy with you, whether it's personal or professional. And the third thing is that, you know, you learn from those and you keep your mind, calm mind, a thinking mind, like Dr. Kathy said. So she's going to keep her mind calm and then she's going to grow from there with a growth mindset. That's very important. Okay, now my turn. So from me, 2024 has been a year of learning. What I have learned is quite the opposite. So I used to be in my comfort zone most of the time, you know, and I would always crib the moment I have been taken out of my comfort zone. I'll tell you how. Like I told you in the beginning that I was traveling a lot this year. Now, when any time that the flights used to be very early in the morning, or I'm coming back late at night, or the flights used to get delayed, and it was like, oh my gosh, why me? Why this? Why that? So, what I learned because of all the travel in 2024 was the moment I changed my attitude and my mindset towards it, was the fact that now, anytime you ask me to come, anytime you wake me up at 2 a.m. in the morning or the wee hours of the morning and tell me to take a flight, I'll be ready. I'll go. You tell me, okay, you come back at 12:30 in the night and everything, I'll be fine. So now that thing to be fine on all of these had come from that perseverance that I gained uh, in this year, because earlier on, even if I have to go on a holiday, I'll waste 2 days of mine because I would take a late afternoon flight, reach Arams in the evening. The next time when coming back also, I want to do that. I really don't want to be in a hurry in the morning. I don't really want to take late night flights. I don't want to lose out on my sleep, all of those. So now, because all the traveling that I did this year, I was like, I was up at 2, I was at the airport at 4, I have to take a 6 a.m. flight. So theek hai, it's okay. And today, now in December itself, I am like traveling. I have 3 more trips coming up, and none of them are very easy. But I have a smile on my face. Now I feel like, oh, I'm traveling. I'm going to a different place. Fine, count me in. So that was my biggest learning for this year. So
Shruti, I want to add something over here.
yes, Shavishta.
My mother always used to say that you have to do it. Either
Yeah,
do it while crying, either do it while laughing. So
exactly.
it's the choice is yours. So हंस के करो या रो के करो, करना तो
Right.
है. So
So,
better
so
be
same thing
smiling
was
and
with
do it.
me. So my work and my profession was making me travel. I never had a choice to say no to them, right? So it was
Yeah.
like first two, so first 2 trips I cried and I cribbed and I was like, no, and all of that. Third trip onwards, I said, "Arey yaar, chodo na, jana to hai. I have to go. I have to go. It has to be done. It has to be done." So, theek hai. And from there, when that mindset changed and when that learning came into me, till date now it is like, tell me where to go when I am ready. So it's like that. So
But it's
that is what.
it's also to do with the language you use too. So you could say, I get to travel. I
Yeah,
get
I
to
get to
travel.
travel. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So changing
And your
the
NLP,
mindset
NLP
and
will say,
language.
like, yes,
Yeah. That.
you reframe the same situation.
Yes. You reframe the
Yes,
same
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Yes.
I would, yeah,
And then you become much
I,
more happier about the same situation where you were very sad
yes.
about that. So
Mhm.
that's the best part. So that's the learning.
Yeah,
And I tell you, if you do that in life, in whatever situation you are in, personal or professional, everything changes for yourself. Nobody else has changed it. It's your own
yeah.
mindset. It's your own perspective of seeing and overlooking a situation. And if you do that, sorted. Everything is sorted there.
One question is very important in every situation. Just
Yes.
ask yourself, what's good about it?
The
Just
moment
ask.
you see the good about it, the positive side of it,
Yes, yes. Just ask. Just stay back and just ask. Okay, now this is happening.
yeah,
What's good about it?
what's
Maybe
good about
the only good would be that you will be like mm, learning something very spectacular,
it.
but mind blowing or life changing or a learning of a lifetime that, okay, I will not do this stupidity again. But that's good about it.
Yeah, that's good about it. Of course. Nowadays, I'm very happy with my Starbucks coffee also at airport. So I look forward to that. I travel at odd hours, and then when I go to Starbucks, I'm like very happy.
Yeah.
There you will see me with a smile, sitting with a large coffee and happy. That is also my me time now. So,
Ah,
so what's good about the situation is that great, superb. I love the way the conversation is going. Are we in a webinar or are we in our family room chatting to friends? All right, that's a great thing, and that's the mood that it should be, because the year is ending. It should end on a very very positive note, and I'm damn sure the people who are watching us are getting a lot of takeaways from all these great minds who have come together, and you see the changes of perspective. These are life lessons. These are not something that we are going to be teaching you over a workshop. So these are the life lessons that we are going to take with us. All right, coming to the last question for each and every one of you. First, the first part of the question is the happiest personal moment in 2024. Professionally, we've all spoke now that, okay, what was the professional happiness, achievements, learnings, and everything. Now, personally, what was the most happiest and joyful moment of 2024 in your personal life? And the second part of the question is that what are you looking forward to in 2025? Right on. Now, the first chance to be speaking goes to Dr. Vasvi Acharya. Dr.
Oh.
Vasvi.
My happiest personal moment just arrived after, oh maybe, yeah, on my birthday. That's on the 1st of December when I booked for myself a penthouse in our city. So, my first house, in a sense that, like as a family, we have a couple of properties, but this is going to be my own penthouse, and it's a huge one. And I so loved, I was really thinking, would I go for it or not? End of the year, 2024, kind of many things, many thoughts came to my mind. But then on 1st of December, being one and being a Sunday, I kind of, look into all these things a little. And I thought, oh, why not go for it? And we got it booked. Yeah, so I think that's my happiest personal moment because, yeah, I got something for myself and it's a big, good thing for me. And what's for 2025? Yeah, that's a secret now. Uh, that's going to be out in 2025. So yeah, I have a couple of things. Basically, when during the period I was just sitting and thinking and retrospecting and contemplating. That was the time I came up with a couple of things that I was keeping aside, not doing for a while. And I feel, yeah, 2025, I would be out of with that. And I would not pre-announce now because I don't know whether I will be doing it because there are a lot of thoughts that come into your mind, but then there again you have those instances. Oh my God, too much of work, already tender petals, ECDF, whether I should be doing or not. So I would not pre-announce it because later if I don't come up with that, this is a public announcement, so I would refrain. So yeah, I look forward to 2025, and I feel that already today is 12th, and I started feeling energized from December 1st. I felt a little difference. So I feel 2025 is going to be really awesome. So that is what I'm looking forward. So awesome can have a lot of packages in it. So let's see what unfolds.
Just awesome. So, Dr. Vasi, congratulations on your penthouse. If we have seen the pictures on social media, it is awesome. 2025 will be awesome later. The penthouse is awesome. And it's just not an achievement of Dr. Vasavi, but it is an achievement of womanhood. We women are always in our father's homes, and in the part of the Asia, the countries that we are in, it's either the father's house or it is the husband's house or it is the son's house. But getting your own house for yourself is something that rarely the women do. We do not even think about it anytime. That's not one of our priorities. We don't give any importance to it. We always feel ki the father's house or the husband's house is our house. But hats off to Dr. Vasvi for doing this for herself. And on her birthday, Amazing feat. I am so proud of you, Dr. Vasvi, for doing that. So that's superb. All right, over to you, Miss Amrit. The most joyful personal moment, and what are you looking forward for in 2025? 2025 is going to be awesome for everyone
Yes.
who are participating in this webinar and who are watching. Those who are watching would have an even more awesome year. But if you're not watching, you're missing out. But Dr. Vasi already said that is going to be awesome. Now, Amrit is going to tell us what was the most joyful moment and then what she's looking forward for in 2025. Over to you, Amrit.
Already mentioned, right? I released my first
Lots
story.
of books also coming forward.
And one book release, that was the happiest moment. One podcast release, that was another happy moment. Got to go on the tour, the ECDF tour, that was again a very happy moment. Did some amazing work with parents and teachers this time. Usually, parents is something that I work later with, but I had an opportunity to work a lot in the parent space this time. Did a lot of traveling. I mean, I love traveling, and I am, I have become a pro now. 2 a.m. I can take a flight. 4 a.m. I can take a flight. I can take a flight at any time now. I've tuned my body for it because it's the work that excites me more than the travel. And just a cup of black coffee is good to keep you awake for work. So black coffee and travel are my two favorite things that I've done in 2024. So that's been amazing. Now for 2025, what I'm really looking forward for is my next books that are releasing. And I'm sure 2025 has a lot to offer, which I really don't know about, but I'm very hopeful for the year coming because I know like 24, I'm going to do amazing work personally, professionally. And it's just because 2025 is already exciting me at this point. So I know it's going to be an amazing thing ahead. So I've just put it out in the universe. Surprise me good.
Awesome. That's really, really nice. Yeah, so a lot of happy moments in 2024 and a lot to look forward for in 2025. Definitely. So, and what about all the black coffee and traveling? Yeah, to count me in. It's like now I have got into that space
Yeah,
too.
I think one of the
Now I
airports
know why
we'll
Smriti
just
didn't
bump
join
into
us.
each other.
And now I know why Smriti didn't join us for some of the trips. But now I know why she'll be joining us.
Yeah, now I'll be joining you
Coming
because
soon.
now I've come out of that zone. And that also taught me something about fitness, you know. So you will be cribbing a lot about these odd hours traveling and things like that. When you would be having body aches, my head is aching, I didn't sleep, I'm feeling drowsy and all of that. But now when you get used to it, the way you train your body, the way you are becoming more about fitness also that you can do that. So Amrit is like a super fit person who can like go at any time and do anything with just 2 black coffees, which is good.
This is something that we all have to work on, okay?
We all have to work on.
Fitness, body
2025
fitness,
should
yes,
be a
all
fitness
have to work
year. Yeah, yeah, we have to work on that because otherwise we can't do all that we want to do. That's the
I
main
think Doc,
thing.
Kathy, and me are already working on it.
on. No,
Oh,
we don't talk, we're not counting Dr. Kathy in it because Dr. Kathy is already very fit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're taking inspiration from her.
Yeah, yeah. She's
On
on a
Amrit,
different
just
level
give
only.
us
I'm
a
talking
little.
about domestic travel and all. Huh? She's globe trotting. She's going from
Yeah,
one
I mean,
time
I
zone to
think
another
Amrit
time
should give
zone,
us.
long
Yeah,
flights and everything. She is on a different tandem altogether. And Dr. Wesley has now
but
started gymming
give
and
us
all lifting
the
weights.
leverage of being
Yeah,
the
Lifting weights.
South Asian body types. Just give that leverage,
yeah. That is true.
please.
I agree, Shavishta. I agree.
Yeah.
हाँ
What should I do with my Punjabi blood account?
हाँ बताओ वही तो ऐसे थोड़ी
Likewise.
होता है हाँ likewise all of us in that same space. All right. See, this is not fair. You let the moderator forget the line of speakers. Yeah. Okay. Over to you, Dr. Kathy.
Oh, well, I've had such a great year. There's so many highlights for this year. I do a lot of the globe traveling, as you mentioned, Smriti, and I have been living in America for a couple of years now, basing myself in America and working with early childhood teachers there and speaking at a lot of conferences and going across the world from America. And now I've moved back to Australia again, a family choice. So I've moved back to Australia, and that's just been so joyful to be back with my family and back with my friends. That's just been beautiful. But the highlight of that was 2 of my sons getting married 3 weeks apart from each other. And it was just beautiful. And the first wedding, they decided they wanted to get married in New Zealand. So we're all in Australia. And I was actually in Bolivia at the time, training the Bolivian people in South America. So I came from South America to New Zealand. Everyone from here went to New Zealand. And I was blessed with the honour of walking my son down the aisle. So that was just my most proud moment. And then 3 weeks later, my other son got married. And I had the immense honour there of being asked to be a witness at the wedding and sign my name on his on their marriage certificate. So that was just another beautiful moment for me, for my family. So I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons, and so I've got 3 out of 4 married now. So we're working on the 4th one. So that's been the highlight, and that was easy. The other wonderful thing is we all know Dr. Sue Ellingham, and I did a trip to England as part of my work earlier this year too. I met up with my children in Croatia to start with, and had a week in Croatia with them, then went on to England, met up with Sue, Dr. Sue Ellingham, and we did some presentations together, and I got to stay at Sue's house, and it was wonderful. And another colleague, Claire Steed, that I think most of you know too, stayed with her for a couple of nights, and that was just so much fun. And I just loved that. That was just so amazing. So that was a lot of highlights in 2024, and I got to travel, which I love to do, and I don't care about getting up at 2 in the morning, Smriti, and I have the black coffee too, Emirates, so we're all right. We're good to go. What I'm looking forward to in 2025 is, first thing I'm looking forward to is going and spending some time with Dr. Vasavi in her penthouse. And the other thing is,
Most welcome.
and the other thing is, I will have my book published next year as well. So I'm excited to do that too. I've been working on it for a while, a book about BrainSet, the BrainSet Environments Formula in Early Childhood. And so I'm nearly finished that, and I've got the publishing sort of all sorted out. So that'll all happen next year, and that'll be published too. So that'll be my highlight of next year, I think, unless there's any grandbabies that are being born.
All right, that's really, really awesome. So, 2 weddings in New Zealand and globetrotting, and also, yeah, you're meeting with Dr. Sue Allingham. You were like 2 babies, exploring the world and, going to happy places and having fun, kind of a thing, along with your presentations, of course, which would have been wonderful. I saw those the pictures, and it was like that. So all of those who do not know Dr. Sue Allingham are part of our core team of ECD Forum. And like all early childhood educators, all of us who are here also, Dr. Sue is also, the child within her is still alive, which is a damn good thing. So that is how these 2 doctors have been having fun. So, of course, now my agenda is already set. I'll talk about it later. Over to Ms. Shavishta for her inputs on 2024's joyful moments and looking forward to 2025.
Yeah, so personally, I started off on a very, very beautiful journey. I got to visit the holy places, and that was a very profound moment in my life, because that was for the first time I went by my own. It was a kind of a solo travel as well, because it was just me and my friend, and we went there. Both are women. And initially, actually, we were not allowed to travel or to the holy places alone. So that was very profound for both of us. And we have been like planning this for years to go. And that was amazing, an amazing experience, a very spiritual experience for me. And the second one, personally, again, second one was I got the opportunity to preside our chamber. That's the Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry. That was, again, a very big achievement. And I'm presiding it for mentioning first. So that is something very close to my heart, because then I get to know very amazing women and get to work with them, um, be able to assist them in any way possible. So yes, these were two very profound, very significant, and very happy moments of my personal life. In 2025, I am seeing professionally, I'm seeing Learning Lab going ahead and working towards more inclusivity, more diversity and inclusion, and maybe a few major steps to be taken, which we are planning right now. And again, as Vasavi said, it's a public forum. I would like to concede those right now. But yes, we are planning a lot of stuff. And for myself, my game is only learning. I want to study. So I'm looking for more things. What can I do more? Maybe a master prac in hypnosis, or maybe something else. Like I love learning about minds. I love learning about. So I'm looking forward for your book as well, Dr. Catherine. And I just love to know how human brain is working. Now, amazing piece of what can I say? It's an amazing it's an amazing thing to have in our bodies. So yeah, that's my take on 2025, and it's been a blessed year, Alhamdulillah, and I hope that 25 will be again something awesome.
Really great. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for sharing that. Of course, it is a very, very profound thing that she could travel with a friend to a spiritual and holy place and, get that kind of profound meaning of spirituality and that peace and calm. Why should any human being be deprived of that? But because of the laws earlier, she could, like she said, she could not do it earlier, but just she accomplished that. So hats off to you, and that would have been, of course, a great moment. And all the work that she's doing in inclusivity space is something really nice. All right. So for me, 2024 highlight I gave. Today was the day. That was the highlight, the most joyful moment. I want to stand at the rooftops, shout that my book has been published. Please buy. Is one thing that I want to do. So that is just happened today afternoon itself. So that was the most happiest moment of my life. 2025, I'm looking to a lot of things. I'm looking to Dr. Kathy coming to Guwahati to stay at Dr. Vasuvi's penthouse so that I can join them.
Please join us, all of you.
So that I can also join them. She has already said it's a large place, so that means she can accommodate all of us. So that's one thing that I'm looking forward to for 2025.
Well, I've just invited myself, so
Yeah. So I also did the same, Dr. Kathy. We
All
are
of
like
you.
we are like the piece of the same pod. We
That's
all
right.
yeah,
I would be
invited
the
us.
happiest host. You know.
Whether Dr. Vasi has invited us or not, she was just happy sharing that she's bought it, but we are
She
like
will be
very happy
happy.
inviting
She
ourselves
will
into
be.
it.
She will be very happy
I'm
to
already
have
the
us.
happy host. Please come.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the agendas of 2025 that we are looking forward to. The second agenda that I have looking forward to is, my second book would be releasing next year, because what the book that I have come out with, the story books for children, it will be a series of book. It's not just one book. It would be a series of book with different concepts. So the concept of this time was things that the children use and see in everyday life, the stories behind that. So it is like, it is Avi as a boy who's the main protagonist, who's like a 7-year-old, and he lives with a robo whose name is Kia. Kia, the full form of that abbreviation is Know It All. So the Know It All becomes KIA, Kia. So Avi and Kia are there. So it's a lot of past, the inventions of the things and where do they come from the mouth of a futuristic robo who knows it all, telling a 7-year-old, okay, do you know the Lego blocks that you're playing with or the pencils that you have, where did they come from and what was the story behind it? So it's a very interesting read for the little ones who are always full of curiosity and a lot of questions behind them. So that was the first one. The second book that would be releasing in 2025 would be all about social, emotional, and ethical development that we are lacking so much now in the Gen Z and the Alpha generation. There's the children, we always feel that they do not have enough values or emotions or the feelings and do not care for anybody. But that's not true, because we are also not modeling that. We are also not giving them enough stories about it. So let's do that. So that was something that I'm looking forward to. And I'm really, really looking forward to reading Amrit's books and Dr. Kathy's Brain Set Formula book, because that's something that would really be mind opener, because brain set formula of or whatever sessions I've attended of her, and I realized it would be a great read, and of course going to places. So with this we come to the end of our webinar for 2024. We all have been reflecting, introspecting, and talking about the year that went by. And I'm so glad to know that this year was really a fantastic year. I think after 2 years of post COVID, 2024 came in as a blessed year, because till 2023 we were all struggling with the pandemic and the things that the COVID had brought with it. And when 2024 came, it was the first relaxed year after COVID. And I think we all really, really enjoyed this year, and there were a lot of learning and a lot of things that we can be grateful about. So never forget gratitude. Always be grateful of what you have, and always change the perspective, like all our speakers talked about it today. That the moment we see the positive in any situation, we are going to rise from that and develop a growth mindset. Over to you, Dr. Vasvi, for your ending remarks on the webinar. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. I hope you had a good time and a lot of takeaways.
Thank you, and thank you so much for being there. And today was really an awesome discussion. It was not about what we do professionally, but it was about, an overall insight into the lives, into our achievements, also our challenges. And I feel, yeah, these sharings are very important because it kind of adds value. It is also a learning experience for us, what others have done and how we can, learn from their experiences as well. My last words for this is we are all in our own journey, and we should respect each other's space, love each other, have compassion and empathy, and also show ourselves compassion and empathy, and learn to go with the flow. Nothing is in our control. It just manifests, and how we accept, like the 2 o'clock flights and many other things in our lives. We just got to go with the flow, and 2025 is exactly about that. Go with the flow, and you'll see everything unfolding as you wish. There you go. And wishing everybody a very, very happy new year in advance. Merry Christmas. And yes, let's all have a great 2025.
Can I just add that we are all in the flow today, because if you've noticed the date, it's 12/12/24.
Oh my God, what lovely
Yeah.
In
date.
the flow. So this is why this has been such an amazing session. And thank you, Smriti, for leading us through this so beautifully with your lovely energy and your gorgeous way. So thank you. And it's been such a pleasure and an honor to be on the stage, I guess, or on the panel with all of you wonderful ladies. So thank you for such an enjoyable hour.
Thank you so much. Goodbye from all of us. Merry Christmas and a very happy new year.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.